Alrighty guys, it is I-3700. We are back with some Mass Effect lore. This time, what the fuck is Cerberus? So to talk about Cerberus, we're going to be talking a lot about humanity. Now you may think, wouldn't it all be humanity? And you're slightly right on that, but slightly wrong. You see, Cerberus started way back, like 30 some odd years ago, back on the planet of Shangxi. You see, when humanity first met Turians, and really all of the galaxy, the Turians didn't like what the humans were doing in the First Contact War, which was activating mass relays, which is considered illegal in Citadel space. So, without knowing this alien species, they just invaded the colony. Now, one of the mercenaries who's defending the colony, known as Jack Harper, would become the Elusive Man, the leader of Cerberus. But what he saw in Shang-Chi, the way the humans were really getting their asses kind of beat by the Turians, but then seeing humanity come in for the rescue and kick their asses back, just seeing the back and forth struggle, he said that humanity needed a guard dog, a Cerberus, because that's what Cerberus is in mythology, guardian of, well, the underworld. Now, that doesn't exactly fit the picture of Cerberus, because, I don't consider Earth to be hell, but I guess for some people they do. Now, Cerberus has its goal of just simply being a human extremist faction. This is the way a lot of the Citadel Space and Systems Alliance has portrayed Cerberus, is that they're terrorists. They're just crazy anti-alien regime. But that's not entirely accurate. So let's get into it. What exactly is it? You see, to say that they are human terrorists who only want humanity to be at the top and to exterminate other aliens is actually not true. There has been no evidence so far to suggest that Cerberus wants to annihilate every species. They just simply want humanity to be at the top. They think that humanity is the greatest species and therefore should be at the top and pretty much be safe against all outside threats. So, in order to do so, they're willing to take extreme lengths to ensure humanity's survival. In their view, they view humanity as like too bogged down with rules and legislation and public opinion to really get the job done. So Cerberus takes it upon themselves to do what they view no one else is willing to do. After all, being a hero only takes 2 or 3 moments to do what no one else wants to do. So that's what Cerberus has done. They'll do enhanced genetic modifications that are outright fucking illegal. They'll do crazy drug injections that are outright illegal. They'll do a lot of cybernetics that are illegal as fuck because they're very invasive and it kind of, limits how much of an organic you are between being just a fucking straight up machine. So there's a lot of things Cerberus does that is just outright illegal, and it is pretty safe to say that they are definitely a criminal organization. But a terrorist organization I have a bit of a problem with. You see, Cerberus doesn't actually go around committing terror acts, like running around bombing Turian hospitals or going around screaming out publicly, "Oh, for Cerberus," and then detonating a bomb in the middle of a crowd. They're not like that. And if anything, they're very discreet. They don't even want people to know they exist. They don't really go out of their way to show the public, hey, we exist. They don't go around beheading Quarians with their faces on display, showing, oh yeah, we're Cerberus. So they're not really a terrorist organization. They're really just more of a renegade organization, a criminal enterprise that is racist, sure, because they believe humanity is superior, but they aren't outright there to annihilate all the other species. If anything, the Elusive Man, as we look through the Shadow Broker DLC, we see the Elusive Man has a bit of a record for sleeping with an Asari matriarch, like twice. So clearly he's not racist, and clearly he didn't need to get his dick sucked by an alien to go, shit, maybe alien lives do matter. No, he didn't need that. And there have been several moments where Cerberus is willing to work with aliens, and even hire aliens as agents. They're totally fine with that. Which is, again, why I would say they're more of a rogue agency rather than a terrorist organization. Now, speaking of agency, that's pretty much what Cerberus is until Mass Effect 3. They're pretty much just a spy network that just goes around doing certain intrigues and missions and collecting data on a lot of various things throughout the galaxy. That's really what they seem to have been doing for a large part of their time, committing science research that is outright illegal but will help advance society, because again, they're trying to advance humanity. They'll also be doing some intrigues like assassinating a pope. I'm not joking, they actually did this. They assassinated a pope because the successor pope was more pro-human rather than pro-alien. So, hey, that works for them. They also work in doing stuff against other alien agencies. Like there was a time a bunch of Batarians tried to kill the Citadel Council. So, the Cerberus set about their agents to counteract that, which again, you may think, why would they do that? That actually helps aliens. Well, it's because they like certain aliens. Some aliens they'll keep, some aliens they won't. Now, the Cerberus organization, due to its agency, usually the way it is organized into cells, and each cell consists of a various number of operatives, but the one operative leader will be the only one who has direct communication with the Elusive Man. And the Elusive Man is kind of like Hitler in a sense, because for those of you who don't know about World War II, Germany was really fucked because Hitler was micromanaging the shit out of his generals. Like, he wouldn't let his generals do anything by themselves because he believed they were all incompetent and that his vision's like the best way to do this. Some areas he was correct, some of his generals, they were awful. But other areas, it was like, dude, you're micromanaging way too much stuff. It's impossible for one human to control this. And that's what the Elusive Man does. He does a lot like that, where he only has maybe a dozen operations going on at the same time. And that's because he's micromanaging each and every individual one. He stays up to date on all the information, constantly shifting through the data that his agents are sending him, and constantly making decisions. This, of course, would be a breach if the Elusive Man was ever killed, which is why in Mass Effect 3, that's kind of like the goal, is to just kill his ass. Because without him, the Foundation just falls. It's really interesting to see that. The way that the phrase, cut off the head and the body shall die, is very true for Cerberus. So this is why it's very, very important that the Elusive Man has his name, the Elusive Man. It's very hard for people to track who the hell he is if you don't even know his name. But that being said, it's very, very, very easy for people to see Cerberus as a non-issue, a non-threat, a fairy tale out in the middle of space. And the reason why is because, as I said, they commit so little intrigues and agencies, it's very hard to take them as a serious threat. Again, until Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 is just such a weird lore clusterfuck. But that's the real issue with Cerberus. There's such a rare occurrence because of how micromanaged they are. It's very difficult for people in Systems Alliance. It's very difficult for people in other alien species to really perceive Cerberus as a grand threat that it actually is. But at the same time, this intense micromanaging does pay off because it keeps them low. It keeps them a very low profile. Like in Mass Effect 1, your character doesn't even know what Cerberus is, and he's a lifetime military personnel. You would think he would know what the fuck Cerberus is. He doesn't. There are also many crew members on your team who don't know what the fuck Cerberus is until they meet him in Mass Effect 1. There's also Tali, who didn't really know who Cerberus was until they bombed one of the ships in her Quarian fleet. So there is a few things about Cerberus I will give them credit for, is that they know how to stay under the radar. The only issue is that part of them staying under the radar is because many high officials in Systems Alliance are actual sympathizers to Cerberus. After all, as I said, they're not anti-alien. They just are pro-human, which is kind of a weird phrase to say. I'm not against other aliens. I'm just extremely supporting my alien species, which is humanity. So there will be some admirals and some generals who deeply sympathize with Cerberus, thinking that they are indeed too bogged down with red tape, too bogged down with rules and regulations, and admiralty boards that are unwilling to cut back the rules and legislation just because they're trying to guard principles and morals. So instead, they'll look to Cerberus and go, hey, Cerberus, I know I shouldn't be contacting you, but there's a bunch of Batarians out there who keep raiding these colonies, and they're not allowing me to do anything about it. Do you think you can tell me when they're going to attack next time? And Cerberus, with their huge information network, will be like, yeah, in 20 days, they're going to attack this colony. If you have your fleet already there, you'll wipe them out. And that's pretty much the way they work. And then, of course, once you do a favor for them, or they do a favor for you, they're going to want more. They're going to want more and more and more. That's the issue with many crime syndicates, is once you go to them, that's it. You're stuck. You're never going to be able to get out from under their thumb. And it has been leaked too in Mass Effect 3 that many corporate CEOs, many ambassadors, many people who are in the official branch of the military are all under that thumb. There are some of them who just can't get out, some of them who truly do believe in Cerberus ideas, and some who just needed that one thing done for them. But now they did that one thing for them, they're now a target because they're refusing to do the favor for Cerberus. And this leads us to our final segment. What happens if you get caught and you're a Cerberus agent? Well, one, good luck finding a job, because once you're labeled as kind of like a KKK organization, good fucking luck with ever living a normal life ever again. But also, two, you'll probably be in prison for a very long time and interrogated for a very, very long time for any information you know. And this is where, depending on what kind of operation you're in, Cerberus might actually attempt to rescue you, or they may just let you leave because you're an expendable asset. So what would it be that you would be an asset worth retrieving? Well, let's say you're a scientist and you're researching something that's groundbreaking technology, and you really are the head lead of the field. They may actually risk breaking through to get you. But once they get you, and once you complete your research, they may just kill you, just so that way they leave the hot trail that the Systems Alliance is on their ass. There can also be a certain mercenary, a mercenary who's got an impeccable track record, who just always completes his job, always does it for Cerberus, hell, even does it for a lower fee for Cerberus, and his skill set is irreplaceable. Like maybe you're a mercenary who's really, really good at tracking down the Quarian fleet at any point in time because you follow a very specific radiation signature those old ships exhibit. Well, Cerberus may need your services. They may need it now, or they may need it 2 years from now. So expect some sort of retrieval. This is why Cerberus is a very unique organization indeed. And this is why I'm glad I got to cover it for you guys. Besides that, this has been Freezer 700. I am out. Peace. I hope you guys learned a thing or two about Cerberus, so now you guys don't just rush in and go, oh, they're a terrorist organization, blah, blah, blah. No, it's a little bit more complex than that. And it's a topic that definitely does deserve more input. And I hope if they do another Mass Effect game, you see that where there's a few other pro-human factions besides Terra Firma party. And you see that they're all like ex-Cerberus, but they're trying to change it a little bit. Like maybe instead of being pro-human, they're pro-human to the extreme, to the point that they don't even hire aliens. Or it could be that they're pro-human, but they actually operate only through aliens because they believe humanity is too above this meager work of intrigue and shit. It would be interesting to see those kind of like spin-offs of the organization. Besides that, this has been Freezer 700. I'm out. See you guys next time. Peace.